News 4 investigates.
It's a scam so convincing that it's costing people here in St. Louis their homes. People struggling to pay their mortgages thought they found a solution, but they had no idea the man offering help was a convicted felon who spent years in prison.
If it's going to cost our home to make this stop for somebody else, so be it.
A Jefferson County couple roped into an outrageous scheme. It started when they asked their lender, Great Southern Bank, for a loan modification, an attempt to lower their monthly payments.
It's not like we were trying to screw anybody over or anything. We were just trying to lower our house payment.
The couple says the bank wasn't agreeable, so they shopped around and stumbled into this.
Are you a homeowner in need of some serious help with your mortgage?
The Federal Mortgage Marketplace, a supposed nonprofit federal program designed to help struggling homeowners with impressive claims. #1 in Consumer Reports, as seen on The Ellen Show, and 12 million homeowners helped since 1987. Our couple didn't know it, but it was all a lie.
At Federal Mortgage Marketplace, we have a solution.
They had access to information that normal people wouldn't have access to.
Making it seem even more legit.
Making it seem even more legit.
A supposed loan officer told them they were approved and even left these convincing voicemails.
You're all set to go. Looks like you're with Great Southern Bank. They've been notified with a cease and desist document, certified mail, signature confirmation. Just call the touch base with you to give you a status update, let you know everything's going fine with your mortgage program.
The caller lowered their monthly payments from $1,800 to $1,400 a month. The couple was told to mail their checks to Washington, D.C., which seemed logical because they thought it was a federal program. The checks were made out to FDC, but we discovered the D.C. mailing address was a UPS store, and we determined the website was actually created in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But we didn't know that until the couple made mortgage payments month after month to the fraud. And since none of the money was actually going to their bank, Great Southern foreclosed on the house in late May.
In your wildest imagination, could you ever imagine a scenario like this?
No, not at all. And no, it still just kind of blows me away when I start thinking about it because everything was so real.
So real because the phony federal marketplace even sent paperwork and payment receipts. So I called the Federal Trade Commission. As it turns out, they were also investigating. Documents sent to me reveal the man behind it is Jonathan Herbert, a felon convicted of cocaine possession, grand theft auto, and weapons violations. According to the feds, every aspect of the operation was a lie, and that Herbert has stolen at least $600,000 from hundreds of consumers, and many victims have lost their homes. A very real possibility for our couple.
The money at this point is kind of irrelevant. It's gone. We've come to terms with that. They've got to be stopped.
I presented this evidence to Great Southern Bank. They agreed to postpone a hearing on the foreclosure until they review the evidence. Of course, we'll stay on top of it, and I'll let you know how the bank reacts to this new information. Chris Nagus, News 4.
Now, News 4's Chris Nagus.
Check out this party boy who likes cocaine, but to score his drugs, he needed to steal mortgage payments from struggling St. Louis homeowners, including veterans. And what's more outrageous, this con man is walking around free. So I hopped on a plane to South Florida to score some answers. The man who lives on the other side of this door is a Rolex-wearing, lives-by-the-beach bad guy. Hey, Jonathan, are you home? He might not have the best pool on the block, but his $2,500 a month rental just north of Miami is surrounded by posh living. The type of living Jonathan Herbert's victims can only imagine.
He told us that they were a government agency.
Paul Harris received a call from a person claiming to represent U.S. Bank, his lender. But he wasn't talking to the bank, he was talking to Herbert, who was running one of the most convincing fake companies I've ever encountered, the Federal Mortgage Marketplace.
I mean, everything just looked so legitimate.
Paul was promised lower monthly mortgage payments, so was his brother Ron, a disabled veteran.
It's got a gold seal on it. The way it came to me.
Both brothers thought they found mortgage relief and month after month made their modified mortgage payments to what they thought was a federal program. The letters even had FDIC logos. It was all fake.
My guts always told me the right thing.
And this time it failed me.
Easy to see why. I obtained some of the recordings left by the fake company. He uses high-pressure tactics to swindle homeowners.
You need to call the number, ma'am. This is a serious situation. This is your home.
Turns out the home office was nothing more than a Florida P.O. box. Mail was picked up and brought to this dump near Fort Lauderdale. The office is now closed with a simple note in the door saying the company is under the control of a court-appointed receiver.
There's something to Jonathan Herbert.
Walter Matthews is now overseeing the fake company, and look at this box of letters. All of them from unsuspecting homeowners sending their mortgage payments. Herbert made a killing. How much cash did he pocket through this scheme?
Well, we have preliminary numbers of between $600,000 and $800,000.
What did he do with the money?
My guess is day-to-day living expenses, and we've had a discussion with his father, and he said that he had a drug problem, so perhaps he used a substantial amount of the money on drugs.
That's just great. While this convicted felon was blowing mortgage payments up his nose, something really bad was happening to our victims.
I don't need this. I don't need this happening.
The foreclosure notice arrived during our interview. The Harris brothers are in jeopardy of losing their homes because their payments went to a con instead of their bank. Ron, whose grandkids live with him, doesn't know how he's going to make up the loss. If you're here, we'd like to talk to you about your loan modification business. I couldn't wait to meet this guy face to face, but he wouldn't open his door and he wouldn't answer his phone. And apparently, he's too scared to call back.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Does he realize what he's done here?
He's taken no responsibility whatsoever.
To me, a person like this should get life in prison. He really should. Because what he's done, he's destroyed lives.
The FTC can't prosecute, but the Department of Justice can, and that's what our victims want. You can bet we'll be following up with that agency to find out what's going to be done to hold Herbert accountable. Chris Negus, News 4.
A cross-country fake mortgage refi scheme brought a Florida party boy to justice in the Metro East. News 4 Investigates Chris Negus has been tracking this case for months, but some of this scammer's victims are not satisfied with the ending.
Greedy Johnny is headed to the slammer. He targeted struggling St. Louis area homeowners with a phony loan modification program, claiming it was offered by President Obama. Now this bad guy won't have to worry about his mortgage. His room and board will be courtesy of the taxpayers. Hey, Jonathan, could we talk to you about your bogus business? Of all the jerk moves out there, this one ranks pretty close to the top. Jonathan Herbert appeared on my radar after struggling homeowners started receiving these letters from the Federal Mortgage Marketplace in offer to reduce monthly mortgage payments.
I mean, everything just looked so legitimate.
Homeowners thought they were dealing with a government program, but they were actually sending their modified loan payments month after month to Herbert, who used a series of UPS stores to shuffle around the money. Well, customers were paying Herbert, their real banks foreclosed. As for Herbert, he was nowhere to be found. Neighbors rarely saw him at his home just north of Miami. Hey, Jonathan, are you home? Yeah, he was a slippery character, but back in Missouri, his customers were still demanding justice.
To me, a person like this should get life in prison. He really should. Because what he's done, he's destroyed lives.
He's not getting life, but he will be going away for 11 years. According to U.S. Attorney Steve Wigington, Herbert defrauded 247 homeowners and raked in $750,000. He never applied 1 cent to the mortgages of any of his customers. When the scheme finally unraveled, I was there as he showed up for federal court in East St. Louis, a long way from his life by the beach. Come on, John, this is your last chance. Anything you'd like to say to these people? There are people losing their homes because of you. Anything you want to say to those people, Jonathan? How'd you come up with this idea?
Full responsibility. We're going to court. If there's any comments, we'll make it after court.
Jonathan, can you tell us what you did with the money? Sir, can you tell us what you did with the money?
All I can tell you is Jonathan is extremely sorry. He's taking full responsibility.
A Florida attorney working to untangle the mess told me Herbert had a drug problem and it's possible a lot of the money went to drugs. The feds confiscated a nice Rolex, but that's about it, which means most of the money is gone. So although he's going to prison, many of the victims still feel cheated and want restitution. Chris Negus, News 4.